Hello! In today's not very short video we are going to talk a little bit about the so-called syndicates. This topic is quite interesting, so I have prepared more information because every person who wants to make money from betting and does not take this activity as a joke is obliged to know more about syndicates, just like he's obliged to know more about how bookmakers work, what the odds are, and etc. Syndicates are about world-class bettors with huge sums of money who are united in rearranging the odds and making money from betting. But before we get on to the point, I would remind you to subscribe to the channel and press the bell obligatory to get notified of every new video uploaded by us. If you want to make money from betting, you can check out our services at bettinom.com. Now, on the topic, let me start by saying that this is important to understand who are you betting against first, as very often people have the wrong impression that they are only betting against the bookmaker. This, according to some, is even the only and the biggest key to success as a professional bettor, and there is a lot of logic in such statement. You need to be very clear about who are you betting against. You may be the second best poker player in the world, but if you are up against the best player in the world, you will lose in the long run. You might be the 1000th best player, but if you are playing against the 1500th best player, you probably win in the long run. The same goes for sport betting. Some bookmakers are much sharper than others. Similarly, you can be brilliant at what you do, but if you are up against huge betting syndicates, you need to be clear who has the edge and who is stealing the value, you or them. The good thing is that bookmakers now offer a huge number of sporting events and everyone has the opportunity to specialize in a particular market where the bookies don't have as much as information, but more importantly, other bettors do too. The idea is to get the information before everyone else and catch the highest odds. Here are some examples of how our bets were. Obviously, the odds dropped quite quickly afterwards, as you will see from the cash out option themselves. Now, more specific on the syndicate. Simply put, a betting syndicate is a group of people who work together to quickly identify the value of odds, take advantage of line movement, and make a living through sports betting. These organizations come in different shapes and sizes, but they have the same mission: to take advantage of mostly ignorant betting public. The way betting syndicates approach betting is comparable to that of a trader or a hedge fund manager. Members spend up to 70 hours a week analyzing the betting market and tracking the movement of the odds on numerous sporting events. When a line changes, the syndicate takes action by calculating the value of the movement and trying to make bet at the most advantageous time. Betting syndicates can have many different methods of operation, but the basic concept is to then identify mispriced assets and exploit them. Bets can become mispriced due to an error on the bookmaker's part or in response uneducated the betting public. You could say that are sort of professional odds buyers. They recognize these exploited odds by sophisticated analysis of past events and weighing the strengths and the weaknesses of competitors. Then they wait for the odds to reach a point where the implied probability is less than the actual probability determined by their process, and then jump on any bet that brings a positive value. They don't actually spend any time determining the winners of the games, no matter what fluctuations of outcomes occur during each small sample. As long as they stick to the math, they can expect to win in the long run. Exactly what we explain in most of our videos. Running a betting syndicate is exhausting and labor-intensive work. They crunch numbers, look up lines and odds, or place bets. As all-encompassing as this profession is for a team, it would be overwhelming for one person. There is strength in numbers, and setting up a betting syndicate offers many advantages over individual professional punters. Having a group of bettors working together towards the same goal gives syndicates a significant head start in the sports betting world. The more members a company has, the more resources are available for investment capital. These organizations pool their resources and contribute funds to increase their bankroll. The quicker they get a large bank account, the quicker they can start using those finances in the market. In most cases, having multiple sponsors to invest in the company is a huge advantage over individual sports bettors who have to build their own bankroll. Thanks to their numbers and collaboration, these cohesive units are able to spread their responsibilities and tasks to cover more territory in an efficient manner. For example, one member might focus on a particular specialist bet, such as second half goals bets. While planning these bets, another member can monitor industry-wide odds. Then another can prepare their devices so that when the time comes to make their bets, everything is set up and ready to go. Having multiple people to share responsibilities also allows members to focus on their strengths. Different people will have different skills and experience. Having diverse skills sets at their disposal allows people to focus on their best skills rather than overextending themselves and being forced to take on tasks outside their experience and or comfort zone. An intriguing aspect of these betting syndicates is their somewhat contentious relationship with many of the online betting sites. Some offshore gambling companies refuse to allow syndicates to place any bets. They may also impose limits on the amount of a wager that can be made on an account even for a single day. These limits can be circumvented if many people place the maximum bet at the same time. Unless the online sports book sees that all the accounts are working together, it can't do anything. This helps the syndicates to bet on poor odds with everything they have. Betting the way these professional syndicates do has nothing to do with the way the average person bets. For these groups, the ability to make large volumes of bets quickly is the difference between winning and failing. These are small windows of opportunity to make bets while they have positive value. Any temporary delay can cost them large sums of money. Syndicates usually divide their tasks by sports or bet type. For example, one member will focus strictly on betting on the goals in the second half of the football match. Another will focus on basketball betting for total points, etc. etc. When all the bets for the day are made, it's time for the data collection and research. The more mind the group has at its disposal, the more events and sports it can cover. As important as buying odds is to the success of the syndicate, there is no way to determine value without first being able to accurately determine the likelihood of a site winning. Predictions are often made using statistical models and simulations. These models require constant cultivation of data, weighting some statistics over others, eliminating data that does not correlate with wins, and identifying new factors that can further improve the accuracy of team analysis. Having a full complement of people to research and explore data means more information, which means faster improvements and ever-improving predictions. As I briefly mentioned a moment ago, the best advantage that betting syndicates have is all the different specialists and areas of expertise and that come together. Permission betting syndicates are known to employ staff with a variety of backgrounds. They will have members who have previously worked in a financial sector, some mathematicians, and perhaps even an athlete or a former coach. Having a wide range of personality types and perspectives allows the syndicate to approach issues from different angles. Each person will have their own unique abilities to bring to the job, resulting in comprehensive solutions to problems and less redundancy. If all members had the same strengths, the organization would be less flexible with less capacity for change and adaptation. As boring as it may sound, an important part of working in a betting syndicate is constantly monitoring all the odds on offer at all the sports houses, both at home and abroad. There are bookmakers that influence the rest of the industry when they change a line. It's not long before everyone else follows. The main strategy of syndicates is to spot the line changes as they happen and place the bets with sports books that haven't changed yet before they do. More people in the syndicate means more event tracking. We've already established that the primary mission of all betting syndicates is to detect mispriced odds and exploit them from financial gain. Sounds easy and enough, but it is actually requiring intensive knowledge, a lot of learning, and a lot of Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. Here are some of the activities that betting syndicates engage in order to make profit. The main duty of syndicate members is to continuously analyze market movements so that they can react appropriately. These gambling experts know exactly when the value of each half point in each sporting event is and at what price the bet should be made. In order for the syndicate to be successful, it must be able to predict upcoming market trends, react quickly to changes, and understand the impact that each subtle variation will have. Along with market analysis, syndicate members spend a lot of time making sure that when they place their bets, they're getting the best odds available. This is why they spend so much time looking at the odds tables from all the different sports books. Shopping for the best lines has a bigger impact on the success of the group than pinpointing the quality of the competition. At this level, it's all about the math without paying much attention to the actual sport. Continuous market analysis and line demand work hand in hand with the timing of bets. For example, syndicates will gravitate more towards halftime bets than full game odds. The odds for entire clash are published early in the week, allowing the market to react and even out. But bookmakers have to set the halftime odds on the fly. This leads to more frequent cases of offering wrong odds during halftimes of sporting events that are in progress. Syndicates sit and wait for their opportunities at their monitors like vultures circling their next meal. When the timing is right, they strike before the rest of the industry joins and it moves the line, at which point the window for positive value is closed. Betting syndicates spend countless hours analyzing past performance, identifying contributing factors and predicting which of those factors will influence future results. When the daily betting is over, the focus shifts to the data and statistical side of the things. Teams are always adjusting their calculations and models to increase the accuracy of their models. The better the statistical models become at accurately predicting the likely outcomes of a sporting event, the better the syndicate becomes at maximizing value. Cultivating data and continuously working on analysis and modeling are the foundation of any betting syndicate. Once the data is collected, prioritized and weighted, and it's time to put those models to good use. The syndicate will take into account all possible factors that could affect the outcome of a match. The next step is to run thousands if not millions of simulations of the competition. Each simulation is conducted in a vacuum under same circumstances. When the model is finished running, the team has a huge set of possible outcomes, including which outcomes happened most often. From here they know what percentage of the time each side wins, what the range of possibilities is, and where the parameters are for each extreme. After the simulators, the syndicate will have a decent idea of how this contest will play out most of the time. However, this does not mean that the match will go as they are planned. In the real world, only one instance of the game is played and performance can vary in unpredictable ways. The model may be 99% certain of a certain outcome, but if they happen to bet on the day that 1% happens, they can't do anything about it. Nevertheless, after many simulations, the group will have the probability percentages of each team winning and a basic idea of how things will turn out. Then they take those numbers and compare them to the odds offered by the bookmakers. Using the odds to calculate the implied probability is a simple equation. Once that is done, all they have to do is to compare the probability percentages created by their simulators with the implied probability from the odds. If the implied probability is lower than the possibility of their expected outcome, they make the bet. Betting syndicates make hundreds of bets a day worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes they literally bet on every sporting event under the sun. As long as the line has value, they try to bet on it. If the data preparation and the modeling is good, the math will show up over time, resulting in significant profits for the syndicate. Syndicates play such a big role in the betting ecosystem that it's really important to understand as much as possible about them as we can. There are many well-known betting syndicates. The most famous are being Star Lizard, that is Tony Bloom's one. There are many other football ones, including the one involving Matthew Benham, the owner of Brentford. There are also huge horse racing syndicates, including Benter, Woods and Jelko. In sports like golf, mustard bet are huge. All we know, there are too many syndicates to list and many of them specialize in different sports. What you need to appreciate is the size of these operations and who works for them. These companies can afford to hire the best quant mathematicians from Oxbridge. Generally, these people are absolute geniuses when it comes to modeling. The companies have huge overheads and therefore have to really make the game pay. In recent times, these companies are having similar problems as everyone else in the industry in terms of getting bets. The Asian markets in football, for example, have dried up a bit, and as a result, they are looking at different options to remain sustainable. What we are seeing is that these syndicates are now often the people setting the odds for the bookmakers. For them, it is a way of tapping into the mass audience, that is, the losing punters that they cannot reach themselves, as it gives them a platform. For the bookies, essentially odds making is outsourced. It is extremely important to remember this when looking at what advantage you may or may not have in a given market. It will be hard to outbid these syndicates in a major stakes. You should also realize that many of these syndicates receive very favorable terms for their business, whether in the form of discounts, low commissions, and etc. They are the largest liquidity providers. This is not a level playing field. Well, that is from me in this video. If you liked it and you thought it was helpful, give it a like and let me know in the comments if you would participate in a betting syndicate if you had the opportunity. Bye from me and see you soon.